Hello everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you very much for joining me here. I hope you're having an amazing day. We're going to take a look here at Near Protocol. Once again, kind of see what's going on here. And obviously, it's done some pretty cool stuff in the last 24 to 48 hours. And we want to kind of take a look at that and see if it's going to continue. It is approaching all-time high territory, and that's really exciting for a lot of folks, including us as a community, because we've got a swing trade open, and I believe this is our second profit target at $20. And I do feel as if it's still very, very likely. We'll take a look at at that and explain why, of course, as well. If you're new to the channel, not a financial advisor, love teaching people how to trade, I hope you can learn something here today. And my goal and my passion is to help you become a better trader. CryptoCache.tech is a website, link in the description below if you want to learn how to be just a better, more well-rounded trader. That's all there is to it. I'm pretty consistent, average about 80-85% success in my signals here, minus when Bitcoin does a nice significant wipe like we saw here recently. All in all, pretty profitable, minus those random occurrences that you can really have difficulty discovering before it happens. A lot of them can be very hard to see. That being said, Near Protocol is actually in very, very good shape here. And the reason why, of course, is we've seen what a 1 or 1.5% range trade from Bitcoin from 43 to 44, where Near Protocol is ramping up hard. It's almost as if it didn't happen. You can see this increase. We'd probably be right where we're at right now, even if it wasn't for that sell-off from Bitcoin last couple of days. Okay. So again, all good stuff there. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the obvious and work our way down. We've still maintained above both moving averages, so that's not a problem. We don't need to worry about that for some time, but generally speaking, that is a positive to be above both moving averages. Basically, I have nothing holding us down. We're also testing 70 on the RSI once more, and if we can break above and just say close above that today, it's a great chance we'll be able to continue to maintain this momentous trend. Because once again, even though 70 can work as a resistance, once it's broken and holds above, it can work as a support level too. I've seen it happen in a lot of coins that just continue to stay higher, and you can continue to maintain a price above 70 on the RSI, especially when you break all-time highs. It's a very common occurrence. Okay, so it's kind of looking pretty good overall in that sense. You could argue that this looks overextended. In fact, if we take a look at TD sequential, we did hit a 9 recently, and we're still potentially in overtime when you think about it. But this 2-day cool-off period, so to speak, gave us a lot of extra volume, and it allowed for the push of the extra new volume as well to continue to push the price action higher. So, it's almost as if no other altcoin right now is absorbing any volume, and Near Protocol is taking most of it. That's fine. That's the way it should work, and that's honestly how you can break a key level resistance, such as a recent all-time high, or previous all-time high, of course, and have enough magnitude to get through that. Okay, so just keep in mind too, and again, this is just kind of abstract thinking here, but it is forming a nice decent cup here, and there's a decent chance we might see a handle. So if the price comes up and rejects off this resistance level here right around $20.25, which it kind of almost did, then we could potentially see a consolidation pattern here where the price will kind of work its way down to the key level Fibonacci of maybe 18.2 or 16.9, and then essentially get enough volume to come back up. I mean, you could even argue too that we had a little handle action that way too as well, if you look at the price actually coming in and getting reversed. So again, all good things here. These are decent patterns, good things to identify. There's no guarantees, of course, like patterns have a tendency to repeating themselves, but they don't have to as well, right? So you got to kind of acknowledge the fact that this isn't foolproof, but it's looking pretty good here in the sense that it's coming back up to test its all-time high. The likelihood of it breaking through is definitely higher than most, based on the fact that we have additional volume and a lot of volume to push the price action higher here. So if this volume continues, there's no doubt the price will break its all-time high of roughly, $20.60, and we're going to start, we're going to get back into price discovery and start seeing what will happen next. That's a really fun, exciting time. So I'm looking forward to that. But anyways, let's take a look here at the 4-hour. Let's go ahead and just kind of acknowledge the obvious. The 50 SMA is working its way up in this trend here. So you could literally kind of just draw a line, and it becomes pretty much synonymous with that 50-day SMA. Granted, it's a little bit higher because of the aggressive price action, but in general, this ascending type of pattern is running concurrent with the 50-day SMA, and that's a positive thing. In other words, every time the price comes down to the 50, you can see it just wants to immediately turn around and bounce. So it's a very, very good sign. The 200 is trailing behind as well, also very good. Not a lot of coins right now can say that they're above both moving averages, and that's an exceptional sign. Only thing that's potential here, and this is where it'd be nice, and it is nice that we're actually having a slight pullback, is that we are at 70 on the RSI on the 4 hour. I prefer to see the 70 on the RSI on the 4 hour not be broken, because it'll come back down a lot harder in some cases. So I would like to see the RSI taper back off down to 50, perhaps have the price consolidate right around 1820, and just have that little breathing room so it can leg up once more. And let's go ahead and take a look at that too as well for breathing room. How far into this push are we? So we got a little reset down to a 5. We're up to a 6 now. So even though this momentous trend has been quite significant with added volume, and obviously the price has increased quite a lot, it's not enough to be completely overextended. In other words, we probably have a good 3 to 6 hours, 3 to 7 hours worth of continuation of the upside potential. Now, is that going to happen? Maybe, maybe not. The fact that we got rejected at 70 on the RSI, it kind of tells us that we could expect the price to go sideways for a little bit, but that'd be perfectly fine. If it goes sideways for just say 8 to 12 more hours, we'll get a little reset and we have enough room to leg up again. So honestly, this is showing all good signs here. I like that it's kind of calming down and relaxing and not getting too far outside of its range. That standard deviation that does happen when the price will contract based on lower volume. In this case, we have higher volume and the price doesn't need to retrace. It's holding steady. So that's the great thing about this scenario here. Like, just say, for example, you take a look at the 15, the volume weighted average price. The volume is so high that the price is barely stepping outside those standard deviation lines, and it's not being required to correct itself significantly. And those are the little things that I like to look at, because volume speaks very loud. Not a lot of people look at that. And I think, if you have volume to complement an increase in price, then it's going to essentially continue in that direction. Same thing as well on the inverse also too. You'll see selling pressure have a reverse effect, and that's when you might want to consider a short. We are nowhere near short potential here for near. Yes, there might be a slight pullback. I would say worst case scenario, the next pullback would be down to the range of about 1750, which is the most recent highs. But again, even if we have a correction like that, will it continue higher to break its all-time high? Yes, if the volume can continue to remain consistent. Pending also, keep in mind too that Bitcoin doesn't drop sub 43,000. If that happens, we might hit a little reset button once more again for near protocol and see some red, a couple of red days to kind of correct and coincide with that. But the way that this has recovered in the last 24 to 48 hours comparative to Bitcoin, and Bitcoin's lack of breaking that resistance of 44,000, then we're going to continue to see near protocol do very well. Okay, so my money's on near protocol at least hitting $20, one of our profit targets here as a community. But furthermore, breaking its all-time high, establishing that as a support level and continuing higher. It may also perform a handle pattern here in the next week or two before it officially breaks out to get that extra push. And that would be actually wonderful if we saw that, because that's much better than breaking the all-time high and consolidating at support. I'd much rather see a price reject, come back up and hit it harder, so that we can officially break through that resistance level. All right, so again, all good stuff here. Literally, I don't see anything disadvantageous from near protocol. I would just expect the price to maybe go sideways for a little bit to consolidate so we can get a reset on TD sequential and then get that next leg up once we build a steady foundation of volume closer to about 1820. And it's starting to do that right now. So all good stuff. All right, thanks again for joining me here. Hope you have had a good learning experience. And thanks again. Have a great rest of your day if you're not currently a community member. Or once again, CryptoCache.tech. Link in the description below. I look forward to working with you. Have yourself a great rest of your day. Thank you.